to do things for kids.
All right, thank you very much.
Very good.
Okay. Becky, what's going on at Parkview?
Parkview, we are so busy over there.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've got my visuals up there. The first one is just some things that have been happening.
You jumped ahead.
There we are.
Okay.
So the first is just a list of things. So last Thursday, we had our 4K information night. So we welcomed about 33 families to Parkview last week, Thursday. We have a 4K information night to draw them in, to actually give them their enrollment packets so they can fill them in. And then we give them a timeline by April 3rd to have them back to Parkview so that we can start to create those classes for next year. People who aren't in attendance, it's not required, so we will share that information out to families in other ways, send them out via emails, etc. for them. I included a link up there. We don't have to watch it now, but there's kind of a 4K video of everything that we've done so far. All of the sites contributed pictures of what their learners have been doing this year. So it's a fun little video to watch. It takes about 3 minutes to watch it. We're at the end of trimester. Thursday was the end of trimester, or last Friday was the end of the second trimester. So over the weekend and this week, teachers are working on getting report cards completed, and those will be sent home to families on Friday. Today, being the start of third trimester, with the work of Nikki Williams and what Food Service has been working on, and the number of kids who have been participating in breakfast at Parkview, specifically over this school year, we had an opportunity to actually offer universal free breakfast at Parkview for the rest of this particular school year, which means any learner can come in and have breakfast every morning that we have school in session. This morning, as we kind of got things started, we had an additional 30 learners that joined us for breakfast. How breakfast works at Parkview, kitchen is open from 7:30 until 8, and we run it kind of two ways. So learners can start arriving at Parkview at 7:30 in the morning, and kids, we do ask them to make a choice. They can go right to breakfast in the cafeteria, or they can go outside for recess, and that's a tough choice for little people to make, but they're getting pretty good at it. So we probably have about 15, 20 kids who will go to the cafeteria for breakfast at that 7:30 time. They eat actually in the cafeteria for that first 15 minutes. And for most kids, 15 minutes is all they need to have breakfast done. The second wave comes when the buses arrive at 7:45. So once we get people in the building, the bus kids then can go into the cafeteria, grab their breakfast. Those kids actually take it back to the classrooms. And they eat within their classrooms themselves. We kind of give I would say a soft start to our school day at Parkview. So it's a lot of get your morning jobs done, some morning work, and then give kids about 15 minutes to eat breakfast. And our solid learning begins at about 8:15. At that point, if you're up a little putzier with your eating, we still get started. You can listen while you finish up your breakfast. So again, we started universal free breakfast today. This week is Read Across America. Celebrating Dr. Seuss's birthday was part of today, and then just lots of encouragement and different activities throughout the district for Read Across America. And I'm sure Bob will speak to some of the activities that were going on at the middle school today. All right, next. This evening, right after school, started our second session, or I guess our third session of Club Invention this year. So round 2 of the first and second graders participating in Passage to Planet Rog. So these are pictures from last November, the kids who participated. We have 14 new ones. Actually, I take it back. We have 10 new ones, 4 repeaters who have come back for a second time, who got started today with Mrs. Walker over at the middle school. So I'll be interested to see and hear them share how things went on that first day. But we are so appreciative of having this opportunity. When we come back from spring break, then the 3 through 5 kids will have their second session. This Thursday, if you are interested, from about 5:30 to 7, we are having our second annual 4K Literacy Night. So all of the sites chose an author, and you can see who the authors are for each site. All families were given a book by that author, and then a chance to write a book report or create some sort of a visual representation of that book. So we have like a gallery walk in our gym. We bring all the cafeteria tables in. They're organized by site. Families and children put out their displays. They stay there so they can kind of share a little bit about them. People can then tour around. So we actually created a little passport this year, so we're gonna encourage families to go around to all of the different sites and kind of identify what they liked about each of the different sites, different presentations. So that happens on Thursday. Right after this, back to back with this, and kind of overlapping a little bit, is our 5K roundup. We figure we've got 4K in the building already for literacy, for their literacy night. We're gonna do 5K roundup as well. So 5K roundup, very similar to a 4K information night. We bring in the families, we give them actual welcome packets, welcome to Parkview packets that shows time schedules, what the day will be like, and Laura Hanish and I will do a parent meeting while the kids are actually working with our kindergarten teachers, their 4K teachers, some of our special education teachers, our reading specialists. We all stick around that night and divide these kids up and actually get to do some work with them and get a chance to see how they interact with one another, et cetera. It's our first opportunity as a Parkview staff to really put eyes on some of these new kindergartners that will be coming in. So that's happening back to back with the literacy night this upcoming Thursday.
And there's promos that was out there for the marketing stuff. Good job.
And then just to kind of promote PTA, PTA is working on something called Tuesday Talks. Tomorrow is their first one. And the focus for this particular Tuesday talk is going to be school safety. So at 6:30 tomorrow in the middle school auditorium, you will be able to interact with PTA along with Mr. Sable, Jim Ketchum, our chief of police, Amy Nails from Dodge County, and then guidance staff from within the Mayville School District, and I believe administrators will be there as well, just to kind of share what our school safety looks like.
School counselors?
I need to check with Jackie. I'm not sure if Jackie will be there or what staff will be there.
There's some conflicting events tomorrow night.
Okay.
So I think it's regionals.
Oh, it's basketball. That's what I have.
Thank you, Becky.
Yep.
Bob?
Yes, I'll share a few items, and then Mrs. Haney will also share a few items tonight. The first one is maybe a couple of months ago now, I think it was right after break, I shared our second reading incentive program for grades 3-5 about big cups of hot chocolate, and every book would be represented as a marshmallow. Well, we filled that wall up, and we have results. We have winners at each grade level. Third grade was Mrs. Trost's classroom with 132 books read. Fourth grade was Mrs. Hastings' classroom with 85 books read. And fifth grade was Mrs. Zarnut's classroom with 180 books read. And total, out of all the 10 classrooms in grades 3-5, we had 920 books read during that time. So a lot of encouragement to have students read, and our students responded. Most of this reading was done at home, and parents signed off on minutes read and things like that. So we appreciate all our teachers and their effort, and especially Mrs. Roxanne Walker, who had organized this event for our grades 3-5. The second item, we talked about instruction in our 8th grade on Holocaust. A letter went out to our parents in 8th grade. I have copies here, Scott, I'm going to pass them back and forth, just to keep you in the loop. I think it's information we may have shared with you already, but greater detail is provided here on the speaker that is coming. And the 8th grade is also looking for other speakers to come. And we're also looking for resources for this unit as well as other units. And so anytime we have a speaker at the middle school, you are welcome to attend as well. And we'll share those dates and times with you as they come.
So as Mrs. LeBoton talked about, it is Read Across America Week. Today at the middle school we had special guest readers from the community. Amy Runty, who is a children's author. Mr. Sable was there, Mrs. LeBoton, Mr. Clark, myself, the Open Door Coffee Shop. So lots of different local celebrities were in our building reading to the kids. And we also had a read-in for the last 30 minutes of the day. So every class was given an area in the building and 30 minutes to just sit and read. And I took advantage of it. It was just great to see all of the active engagement. Tomorrow, it's Dress Like Your Favorite Book Character Day. Wednesday is Dr. Seuss Style, celebrating his birthday. Thursday, kids have the opportunity to bring in their favorite book from home. And then on Friday, they have to wear a readable shirt, so a shirt that just has some text on it. Mixed in this week, we're also celebrating National School Breakfast Week. So the food service director, Nikki Williams, has created some fun dress-up days as well. So we're having an out-of-this-world reading celebration.
So I saw a bunch of students in Fortnite costumes today, like these onesies that are Fortnite. So is that part of anything? Or?
Well, they might have been wearing all blue or looking like a NASA person, because
Oh,
that's
yeah.
what today's
One
out
was
of
like-
this world
one
dress
was
up
like
day
a
was.
panda alien.
It's always interesting at Mayville Middle School. You never know what you're going to get as far as fashion. Next week, Friday, is our end of second trimester celebration. So we're having a movie fest. Kids in grades 3 through 7 get to choose which movie they get to watch. Different staff members will have different locations throughout the building. Kids get to kind of travel throughout the building. And then 8th grade will show National Treasure, which is a book, or a movie, I'm sorry, that goes along with their social studies curriculum. So all of 8th grade will be together for that. And then finally, we had our Kids Heart Challenge. Mrs. Persia and Mr. Held worked with middle school students as well as Parkview students to complete that. And at the middle school level, we raised $4,889.26 going towards the Heart Association. So it was a very positive program. And then next Tuesday, Student Council, Ms. Mosio is taking students in grades 6 through 8, whoever wants to go, to Sunburst for tubing. So pray that there's still snow after the warm-up. All right, thank you.
So, for both Parkview and middle school, as far as like indoor recess, what's it been like this year? How many times have we had to do indoor?
I would say
Not as many as we
Yeah,
have.
a couple of days.
mostly for cold.
It's all been for cold.
Right.
Yeah, but not.
Been an easy year.
Yeah, it really has been.
One of the things we keep an eye on during this warm days and colder nights is the thaw during the day and then whether it freezes on the surface overnight.
Mhm.
So we make sure that Charlie is out there at middle school checking and salting and keeping,
Yeah.
so when kids arrive, they keep it safe out there.
Well, the scuppers are working at Mayville Middle School. There was just water just draining off the building everywhere today. It was like waterfalls coming out.
I like this picture. What's your teacher's favorite book? El Capone, Shine My Shoes.
Yep, that's something else that the literacy team put together, and then there's teachers' names along the side, and kids have an opportunity to guess who's the
Oh, fun.
who the book belongs to.
That's interesting. Great.
Thank you, Megan. Bob? Lee? Tomorrow is the statewide ACT test. All juniors in Wisconsin will sit for the exam. We provide a variety of opportunities for our students to prep for the exam. So we've appreciated the effort those kids have been doing, coming in and doing that. What we do is freshmen, sophomores, and seniors are not in session tomorrow. That way we can create testing groups of no more than 7. We have anywhere ranging from 5, 6, and 7 students per testing group with 2 adults in the room. So it's the best testing environment that we can provide for our kids. So we're looking forward to their effort, and we'll await the results. Zane Vetter, our freshman wrestler, made it to sectionals last Saturday, so he got through the regional and then got over to the sectional in Lamira. Unfortunately, he was defeated in his 2 matches. However, for a freshman to make it that far was pretty encouraging, and it's really, he's a young man who works really hard at this and really enjoys wrestling, so we want to congratulate Zane for making the sectional wrestling. Girls basketball was defeated Friday night at Marshall in the second game of the regional. For what it's worth, Marshall is 2-time defending state champ. And we went on the road, so our kids played hard, we were just outmatched. The boys basketball team will be playing tomorrow night. They are hosting Omro in the first round of the regional. Last weekend, our soul ensemble, the vocal portion, competed at Lamira. The high school had 46 entries over at Lamira. Of those 46, 25 received star first, which means they're going on to state. And of the remaining 21, there were 15 firsts and 6 seconds. So the percentage that we had going, well over half of our kids are going on to state in at least one vocal event, if not more. And part of the rationale that we started years ago was based on where our musical is sometimes, you may get more participation later in the year. So I'll talk to John and JD to see if the musical, because sometimes right now we'd be right in the heart of musical season, and sometimes kids have to pick and choose. So we're assuming the shift of the musical earlier may have gotten some more kids to participate. Instrumental will be next weekend. Next Monday night at 6 o'clock, we'll be hosting one of the conference math meets. And what those are basically once a month since the start of the school. area schools just host a math meet where students compete as individuals and as team members. So we'll be doing that next Monday. Unfortunately, that's in conflict with our forensics who are going on to these, second round districts. We, however, have been able to arrange that our math students who want to do both are going to be able to get up to Nakusa and participate on the 16th of March. What's that? No, it's not real close, but that way we've arranged for a driver to get our forensics kids up to Nakusa so they can still be in the math meet next week, which is great. And then Scott had mentioned when Mr. Ryder had presented our portrait of a graduate, just to kind of help you put in perspective that our goal, and I'm kind of stealing our thunder for a couple weeks from now, Scott, but our goal is for students to earn as many as 100 points as a senior, making them college and career ready. The stuff that Mr. Ryder's working on, literally in her area, the students could earn 30 of those 100 points. It's the largest area, and what we call it is course and career factors, because we really are working on developing college, career, and community readiness. So when Scott had mentioned the value of the program of our youth apprenticeship, some of the students that work with Mr. Ryder will earn a third of their points they need to become college and career ready through that program.
So we have 4 main goals in our continuous action plan. We vetted out, we covered 2 of them here, so there's 2 more to come. Based upon where the amount of presentations are tonight, I'm just gonna plug it in when we're thin on presentations. So.
Do you want to,
Oh, sure.
about the board?
Yeah, our distinguished alumni group, our selection committee met 2 weeks ago. And we have representation, our bylaws state our 4 class officers, a community member, 2 faculty members, a board member, and myself. And we're pleased to announce that we have 10, I believe it's 10, nominees that were selected. And we're going to start contacting those distinguished alumni members this week, informing of the process we'll go through for them to be honored in the community. And then the last thing I have is last week, Dave Seiler and Ken Cartman, I think, took about 80 students, if I have got the number right, for manufacturing tours. Our students toured Metalcraft here in town, and then caravan trailers in Fox Lake. So they spent a day out at local businesses.
Yeah, that's a large number to miss from the building.
We noticed.
25%.
Thank you, Mr. Westall.
Thank you, Lee. Okay, moving on down to new business. Resolution 1920169. Approval of the 2020-2021 school district calendar. So moved. Motion by Dick. I'll second. Second by Noah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So this is our second year looking at trying to have some more timely in-service built into the schedule during the school year. I would say it's not just an automatic replication of what we did this year, but talking to the teachers, getting their feedback, we really have enjoyed having this opportunity to meet. We try to have 1 in-service per month. It does not work perfect when you have March and in April already with those, so we've got a spring break and then it's not for Easter, but with the 2 days off for Good Friday and then that time period. So anything that is red is not a teacher contract day, that is a day off. So the blue days are in-service days. The stars mark the first of the school year and the end of the school year. You can see that Labor Day is actually on the 7th of September. That's a change for us. It hasn't been like that for a while. So our first day of school is September 1. So we're going to come for 4 days of school, and then we're going to have an extended weekend after that. That is a nice kind of soft way to start the school year. So orange is a teacher holiday. There are only actually 2 of those in the entire calendar. So it is Labor Day and Memorial Day. And then there's another copy that comes back here, the second page of the attachment. And that actually covers the teacher contract. So teachers we have 192 days, and that is one of the two ways that we count the school calendar. So based upon teacher contract. The other part is there's minutes of instruction that we're responsible for, and we're well within the minutes of instruction. Plus, we have snow days, potential snow days kind of saved as save the date on June 10th and 11th. And with this calendar, I think we actually picked up an extra day of school based upon how everything pans out. So we're absolutely in a great position as far as minutes of instruction. One of the things that we haven't discussed as an administrative team would be if there's going to be any changes in the instructional day minutes wise. So sometimes like, well, we need a couple extra minutes. So we're based, in order to accomplish this initiative, we really want to meet an extra 10 minutes per day so we can accommodate this schedule. So that piece is out there as a discussion, but I don't think it's going to be, as of right now, we haven't had a lot of dialogue about making any changes there. So I would say our goal, based upon feedback from parents, was that if we could have those in-services on Fridays, they would appreciate having a 3-day weekend. So if I go back to the beginning of my career, I worked with directors of instruction who said, never, you will not have an in-service on a Friday. The staff won't be as engaged and we're good. It's working out great. It's not a thing for us. We need the time together. We're happy to have the time. It's different for us because we literally, if I go back to the 2 years before, we would have 1 or 2 in-services in the school year, be all up front, and then hurry up and like, oh my gosh, we don't have any time. So now being part of teams and giving the staff time to collaborate is really what this is all about. And so we could have some more targeted PD throughout the school year. One of the nice parts in this model too is like we have almost like a summer institute in the month of June. So versus trying to coordinate lots of PD and opportunities to require staff to come in over summer, our goal is to try to tee it up right before they leave for 3 days.
And
The
forget that
fourth
before
would be a
the fall.
work day.
Are you gonna forget that before the fall?
Well, this year, I would say, I'm really pumped. I can't wait to share with you what we're gonna be doing. We already have probably 50%, 70% of that all locked in with some real high-quality PD for staff. So I don't think so. If anything, what it does is it launches them up and gets them ready. So when they are looking for something to do in summer, that we've teed them up and given them the PD and training, that's something that they could work on over summer. So there still will be absolutely some like data digs or data mining meetings and some PD that we'll have over summer, like staff going to CPM. So CPM is math training. So we'll still have stuff, but we're going to try to focus on that. So in this piece where we map out all of the district events, and then underneath we identify the parent-teacher conferences, the family literacy nights. So I hope that this ends up being printed and put on your fridge or someplace in your house so that you can look at it to keep track of
I've got it
the
right on the
events.
cupboard door.
You know, so it's a big improvement from if we go back to a couple of years ago.
How many years has it been since we had what is it? May 23rd grade?
That was one, yeah,
Yeah.
thanks
I
for
was
bringing
gonna
that
ask
up.
about that.
Otherwise, they're graduating on Memorial Day weekend, and I was told, you better think about that. And then, the other part was they weren't graduating early at all, they were going right to the very end.
Yeah, they
So, and,
maybe got 1 or 2 days extra, because you always took the last week off anyhow.
yeah, well, right now they would have none, otherwise. We would just, so it's like we have, it's either the 23rd or they go to the end, nothing. And then you're gonna have an absolute revolt. So we were good with that, and I was a high school principal for many years, and I reached out to the DPI, and they're not counting minutes for your senior. That's not what they're looking for. So at that point in time, you're celebrating what they've been able to accomplish, and it's okay.
Usually not over the weekend.
So yeah, thank you for pointing that out. That is something that's important. So with that, it does like senior recognition is on the 3rd. So we're hoping that all these dates stick and there aren't really any changes to the like literacy night or course selection night, like most of the stuff we found our schedule. So any questions at all? Otherwise, we really appreciate the schedule we have this year. We made some adjustments to reflect staff feedback and parent feedback, so we hope we have a keeper, and this is something that we try to continue. The 23rd, when it's green like that, early releases like this one, On the 23rd will not be a teacher in service. It'll actually just be an early release for them. So